Today we're going to look at ratio tables and equivalent ratios. So let's get started. Being able to create tables of equivalent ratios is a very useful tool because it helps you determine how much of things you need depending on a desired final amount. So you can scale recipes based on whether or not you need it for 8 people or 80 people. When I used to work in a lab, we scaled recipes based on whether or not we needed 100 mils of a solution or 10 liters of a solution. So let's practice creating a table of equivalent ratios. The table below shows equivalent ratios for the ratio 35 to 50, and we're asked to fill in the missing values. Now there are a variety of ways to write ratios. So here we have 35 to 50, so this colon is read as 2, so 35 to 50. And then we can also write this as 35 and then spell out the word 250. So 35 to 50. But we can also write this as a fraction and just say 35 over 50. So I use this form to kind of create that table. So our numerator is on top, so that's 35. And then the denominator is on the bottom. And so for only one set of values do we know both the numerator and the denominator. And that is the 35 to 50. And so now we need to fill in these missing values. Again, they're all equivalent ratios. So let's start with this first one, where our numerator is 7. Let's find out what the denominator, or that second term, is. So if we have 35 to 50, and we want to go to 7 to some value, to go from 35 to 7, we divide by 5. So that means we're going to divide the other side by 5 as well, and this gives us 10. So this missing value is 10. So for the second problem, we're given the second number, that denominator. So the second number is 30, and we're looking for the first term. So something to 30. So let's start with this 7 to 10 ratio. And to go from 10 to 30, well, that means we multiplied by 3. So now we're going to multiply 7 by 3. We end up with 21. So 21 to 30 is an equivalent ratio of both 7 to 10 and 35 to 50. For this last one, again, we're missing that first term, so we have something to 150. There are a couple different ways that we can find this term. Now we can start with 10, multiply that by 15, and therefore we'd multiply 7 times 15. Or we can start with 30, and 30 times 5 is 150. So if we multiply 30 times 5, that means we're also going to multiply 21 by 5. But I'm going to start with this original ratio that we were given, this 35 to 50, because 50 times 3 is 150. So 50 times 3 is 150, and then 35 times 3 is 105. So we have now completed this ratio table. So here's just a generic table where we said we had a ratio of 35 to 50. Now let's add some meaning to our ratios. So here we have a club is selling bouquets of lilies with tulips. The ratio of lilies to tulips is the same for all the bouquets. Fill in the missing values in the table below. So we're going to start on the row where we have all the information we need. So in this case, for 5 bouquets, we need 15 lilies and 10 tulips. So let's start by simplifying down this ratio. So let's look at this ratio of lilies to tulips. And we start with a ratio of 15 to 10. Now let's simplify this down. So both 15 and 10 are divisible by 5. So let's divide both of these by 5. And we end up with the ratio 3 to 2. So this is the ratio in its simplest form. So for every 3 lilies, we have 2 tulips. Well, one of our columns has 3 lilies in it. And so for 3 lilies, we're going to have 2 tulips. And that's going to give us 1 bouquet. So it's the simplest ratio for 1 bouquet. Now if we have 8 tulips, to go from 2 to 8, we're going to multiply this by 4. So multiplying both sides of this ratio by 4, this is going to give us 12 to 8. So for 8 tulips, we'll have 12 lilies. And this is 4 bouquets. And then if we have 20 tulips, well, if we went from 10 tulips to 20 tulips, we're doubling the amount of tulips we have. So we can multiply this 10 by 2. Or we can also multiply this 2, this simplest form, by 10. Either of these will work. But I'll go ahead and continue to multiply the third row by 2. So if we have 20 tulips, we will need 30 lilies. And then this will give us 10 bouquets. Let's look at a different type of problem using equivalent ratio tables. Selena's friends have a summer job. They earn money based on the number of days that they work. Which of the tables below might show the earnings of one of Selena's friends based on the days worked? So if a table represents the earnings of one of Selena's friends, then the values in the table should all be equivalent ratios. So let's see if that's true. And we'll start with this first table. So if the friend worked 1 day, they made $25. So if we go from 1 day to 3 days, well, that's 3 times. So therefore, if she worked 1 day and made $25, if she worked 3 days, she should have made $75. And that's not the case. So this one is not a table showing the earnings of one of Selena's friends. Looking at this second table, so for 2 days, the friend made $30. So going from 2 to 4, well, 2 to 4, we get that by multiplying by 2. And so if we take 30 and multiply by 2, we do get 60. So that value works. Now let's see how much she should earn when she works 5 days. And we could find a fraction or a decimal to multiply either 2 or 4 by to get 5. But I'm going to simplify down this first ratio. So if we have the ratio 2 to 30, let's find out how much she makes after 1 day. So here we're dividing by 2. So 30 divided by 2, well, that's going to be 15. So each day, this friend made $15. So if we have a ratio of 1 to 15, and we know the first value is 5, so that means we're going to multiply this by 5. Multiplying 15 by 5, well, that is also 75. So this value works as well. So this second table, it may show the earnings of one of Selena's friends. Now let's look at this third table. So for 1 day, she made $20. Going from 1 to 2, we're multiplying by 2. 20 times 2, that is 40. So this second row is an equivalent ratio to the first row. Now let's look at this third row. So we went from 1 day to 5 days. We multiplied by 5. So now let's multiply 20 by 5. And 20 by 5 is 100, not 80. So this table also does not represent the possible earnings of one of Selena's friends. Each table shows 3 ratios, but only in the middle table are those 3 ratios equivalent ratios. And equivalent ratios is what we expect if the earnings are based on the number of days worked. A great way to learn is to practice on your own. We will discuss in a bit, but go ahead and pause your screen and do this problem. Michael is designing his garden for the spring. He is undecided on how many 5-foot by 5-foot identical plots he will make. In each plot, he will have 16 corn plants, 4 squash plants, and 25 bean plants. Complete the table to show how many plants he will need based on the number of plots. Now for this problem, we were given the ingredients, the components of one plot. So for one plot, we need 16 corn plants, 4 squash plants, and 25 bean plants. And this information is on the first row of the table. Now at this time, Michael doesn't know what he needs for his garden. So maybe he has a lot of corn and bean seeds, but he was only given 12 squash plants. So to go from one plot that has 4 squash plants to 12 squash plants, we're going to multiply everything by 3. So that's going to give us 3 plots with a total of 48 corn, 12 squashes, and 75 beans. Or maybe after measuring his yard, he determines he only has enough space for 5 plots. We're going to take that base ratio of 1 plot and multiply everything by 5, giving us 80 corn, 20 squashes, and 125 beans. Or maybe he's trying to start a business and he needs 300 bean plants to have enough beans. Now for this, we could have started with that first ratio with 1 plot and 300 divided by 25, that's 12. So we could have multiplied this first line by 12. But I went ahead and said, well, 300 divided by 75, that's 4. So I'm going to multiply this second line with 3 plots by 4. And that'll give us 12 plots with 192 corn plants, 48 squash plants, in order to have the needed 300 bean plants. And if I remember correctly, not necessarily this ratio of plants, but this combination of plants between corn, squash, and beans, these are called the 3 sisters. And supposedly, this is a great combination of plants to grow. Drop any questions you have in the comments. Continue practicing working with equivalent ratios, and I'll see you in the next video.